And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I always do. And I have the wonderful Chris Edwards at my
Good
side.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I am doing good. Just lost a little wire here.
Uh-oh.
But I'm doing good. What's going on? How's your
Nothing, man.
day?
It's
Before
Friday.
we go
Eh,
in, though, I know we're
Yeah.
going to talk about the show, The
Yeah.
Perfect Neighbor. I looked
Yeah.
at it last night and I was like, holy moly. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I get you, and we'll dive into it. But I'm doing good. It's Friday. I feel like we just turn around and it's Friday again. So the usual stuff. Laundry's being done. Karen is mopping and vacuuming right now because I didn't get up early this morning to do it. So
Who's
she
who's 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 doing it? Karen?
Karen. That's what she's called.
Oh,
She's called Karen.
I forgot your robot.
Yeah, she's called Karen. So she's doing tasks right now.
Your robot is named Karen.
Yes.
I did
Yes.
not know your robot was named Karen.
Yeah, I've mentioned it here before.
Karen is in the house, literally.
Yes. And we summoned her to go clean the floors. Hey, look, you have to make bad things and make a joke out of them, right?
Karen is in the house. She's doing her thing.
Yes.
And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's say good morning to some folks, and then we're gonna just dive in,
Okay.
because that show was so. I looked at the show. I did my homework. For those of you that did not do your homework, well, you'll catch on. Unfortunately, you're gonna hear about The Perfect Neighbor.
Yeah.
That's now featured on Netflix.
So this is a spoiler alert. This is a spoiler. If you have not seen it, you might want to jump out, then watch it, and come back and watch the replay. But here's the thing: this is publicly known knowledge. This is a case that's been highly publicized all over TV over the last 2 years. So be forewarned.
Yeah, and also, again, like you said, it was in the news, so
Yeah.
it's not like it's something that you don't. It's a cliffhanger. You don't know what's going to happen at the end.
Right.
It really is what it is, and whew, Lord, I tell you, I was like, man.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk
All
about
right.
it. Let's say good morning to some folks. Let's say good morning. I see Hannah is in the building. As always, she gets the gold. Good morning. Good morning, Ron, Chris, and Touch Base Daily family. And then we got the great and wonderful G.R. Houston Jack. Good morning, she says. And we got Mr. Adrian Florence in the building. He says, thank God it's Friday.
Which room is he in?
And also, son, I got the screen. Look at the screen. The screen is right.
It looks good back there.
It looks good. Look.
Yeah.
It looks. Now we look like we got something going on here.
You got fresh flowers back there. Looks like a lamp.
Got that.
Okay.
One day we'll have an award here that says, "What is it? When you get to a certain level in
your YouTube channel award."
Yeah. Once I get to the 1,000, once I get to the 1,000 mark, it's coming. It's coming.
I don't know if you get one for 1,000.
No, it's 10,000, right? Isn't it 10,000?
I want to say it's 100,000. I think it's 100,000. You get
a long way to go.
Hey, we got time. You got nothing but time.
Everybody starts at zero.
Exactly.
Everybody starts at zero. Chris R is in the building. She gets the hello, good morning, she says. And Omar is in the building. Mr. Omar is in the building, y'all. He says, happy Friday, everyone. And we see Gwendolyn saying back, hey, good people. And DS is in the building. Good morning, Ron, Chris, and the TBD family. DS here. And who else? Who else is in the building?
Oh, wait! Before you move off of DS, thank you so much for going to the channel and checking out one of the shows. I appreciate that.
Ah, nice. And DS, I keep saying DS needs to get on board. He needs to come on.
Yeah.
He has so much wisdom, so much to share. Are you in hiding? Are you incognito? Are you trying to stay away from the CIA?
Well, I mean, his picture's there, so he's not hiding that much.
Yeah, he's not hiding too much. So, yeah, he needs to be on here. And we have also the great and wonderful Janet Fisher. Good morning, you wonderful duo, Ron and Chris. Ron looking rested. I'm happy.
Yeah.
The weight of the world is off my shoulders.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
have to tell you, Adrian is a great host, and he was raised well by his mom. He's a great host. And Bryson says, "What's up, Ron? What's up, Chris? What's up, everybody? Happy Haley
Bailey.
Bailey Day. Happy New Music Fridays. Happy Springsteen Day. Welcome to the weekend." I need a
Yeah.
drink.
So you didn't get your sip. That's what the problem
I didn't take
was.
my sip. I need a drink. I got my regular. With Bryson, you gotta have a sip. You gotta have a sip. Okay, who else is in the building? Jazzy Jazz is in the building. She says, "Good morning, beautiful people." And also, who else is here? Okay, we got in here. We got all conversations going. We got conversations. Mr. Diaz says, "So where are you now, Ron? Where are you staying? Hotel? Another state?" I'm in Hotel Adrian.
Yes, indeed.
I'm in another place. I'm in what I call undisclosed place. I won't tell you where I am. I just am in safekeeping.
Yes.
And she says they no longer send out one of the 1,000. Oh, they don't send it for it. What there used to be one for 1,000. I thought so.
I think
You
it's
can make your
100,000 now.
own. You can make your own though. Thank you, Gwendolyn. And Dia says, "I love that, G. Celebrating yourself. That's what's up. I'm always about celebrating self. You have to embrace yourself in the mornings. You have to say, 'Good morning, self.' And you also sometimes you have to tell yourself, 'Be still, my soul. The
Yeah.
Lord is on your side.'"
Okay, church up in here.
That's one of my songs. That's one of my life songs. When anything is going haywire, or I'm going like, if I said, as a matter of fact, there's a song that's called "Be Still My Soul, the Lord is on Thy Side." It's an old English, I think it's an Anglican hymn, and it's one of my favorite. And I learned it at a Presbyterian church that I used to attend. And it's "Be Still My Soul, the Lord is on your side." And I love it. It's a good song. And I say it all the time. Do you want me to sing it? No.
Not today.
Not today. So,
Make that a touch space daily on the move.
Oh, Lord, have mercy. She says, "May I say it helps to leave a comment when you watch a video? Not only does it support the creator, but it's a visual sign of support." Say it
Yes.
again, Gwendolyn. We creators love when you leave a comment. It just says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm engaged. I'm
Yeah.
engaged with what you're putting out there." And even if it's negative, I don't care. Negative or good. I mean, we can't get better unless you share.
Right.
So I won't delete you unless you say something really ugly. That just has nothing to do with the show. And he said, "I hear you." He says, "I hear you. Thank you, DS. Come on now," he says. Come on now. He knows the song. I bet DS knows that song. Anyway, it's a good song. It calms me every day when I have anything that's pressing. Okay, so we are here. And I don't know what I should do first. We just go straight into it.
Yeah. So, all right. For those I mentioned yesterday, to go and watch on Netflix, the number one movie show on Netflix currently in the United States right now is The Perfect Neighbor. This is a story that took place over the course of 2 years, from 2021 to 2023. And it's been on all of the major networks across the U.S. It's been written up in all the major publications. I actually even have the Washington Post. They did a really good article on it. It's an easy read, maybe about 5 to 10 minutes long. But this documentary, because it's not a series, it's a documentary, follows a community, and this one neighbor who she calls herself, "Oh, I think I'm the perfect neighbor." Her name is, Lorensk, I believe is her name. and basically she murders one of the neighbors in the neighborhood, AJ, and she has a mother of four. Now, the unique thing about this documentary that we kind of went over a little bit yesterday was that this is told from the perspective of police body cam footage and police interrogation footage. All of it. There is no reenactments. The only other shots that were created after the fact were drone shots over the neighborhood, just to kind of give you a lay of the land. And they use it throughout sparsely, just to kind of tell the story, so you can see context as far as like where her house was, where the empty lot was, where the neighbor's yard was, and then also where the rest of the community is. So over the course of 2 years, this was documented by police body cameras. So go ahead.
Well, also it does have some footage from the funeral. So
Yes.
there were some other, but they were actually from people in the
Yes.
family that
Yes.
contribute their
Yeah.
footage from the person's life. It was. I was like, I gotta do my homework. I have to. So I set some time aside. I did a lot of work yesterday. I put the little room together and got the interiors looking good. But then I said, time to pause, time to do homework. And I sat there and said, where is this going? It's called The Perfect. And I knew that after the first they go in and the police arrive on they're in the car, they arrive on the scene, and they give you the dates. So they're giving you the
Yeah.
date of all of this, of every time the cops go to this
Yeah.
woman's house.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you go, this woman is crazy. You immediately know she's emotionally disturbed. There is something terribly wrong with her. Part of it is also her white privilege. Number two is she has no kind of connection to reality of the young kids in her environment. I mean,
Yeah.
she moved into their neighborhood. It wasn't, and then she was only there. She wasn't there long, and then
No,
she said, she said, I was thinking about buying, but you know what? I'm moving out. Well, she should have moved
so,
out.
all right. So that's the key thing right there. That was the first
That's the
engagement that she
first
had with
engagement.
that she had with police in 2021 when she said, I'm going to be leaving here. I'm not staying here." And
I'm not saying
she did not follow through. So that lets you know that where her mindset was and her intention, because she could have left.
she could have moved.
She knew she moved into an environment where she is surrounded by kids. If you're not a kid person and you're not into diversity, you had no business being in that community. Because it
Yes,
was a well diverse community. You've got black kids, you've got white kids, you had Hispanic kids, you had
yes,
all of them there. And it was a young community where kids were out there playing amongst one another, living
yes,
in harmony together. All the families knew one another. They knew all the kids. All the kids played in all the different kids' yards. And even in the empty lots where, the guy that said, "Oh, you guys can play in that lot," he don't have a problem because, he realized they're kids. What
they're
would you rather have them
kids.
do? Being inside or causing trouble in other neighborhoods? These were good children just doing. You
Kids.
wish that more kids were doing that, what they
Yes.
were doing. Even the police noted that.
So the police officer said he even coached the kids and say, "Look, we know the situation over there, but we need you to shine. We need you to look good." And he went through, and I have to say, the police officers were so good with that community. This was a community that truly represented America.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a rich neighborhood. It wasn't in what I call a middle class neighborhood. It was a working lower class neighborhood. People are just there, and they had the kids. Again, diversity. They just enjoy. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, we always played football in the middle of the street. We
Yeah.
play for when the cars stop coming.
Basketball.
We do that. We pass the football. When
Yeah.
the cars stop playing, we hit the stick ball. We we did stick ball in the street. That was normal for a neighborhood with
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And the kids were diverse. The kids went from young kids
To
to
like teenagers.
teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were
And they
all harmonious. They were
yeah.
there was it was such a like I said, it was a great picture of America in the way it is. And you think about how people from all these diverse backgrounds are together in one neighborhood. And she was the only outsider. And she kept calling the police over and over. I mean, you go through the
They
timeline.
said
It's
like sometimes
ridiculous.
like twice a week that she was calling 911 for
Yes.
non-emergencies.
She was this.
Going in, trying to quote unquote file police reports. The police said, "Well, there's nothing we can do. We can. All this is just administrative. We'll take it down and we'll put it in a file." There was nothing that they could do, and I mean, for the majority of the police officers, they knew that she was a nuisance, and that there was nothing that they were going to be able to do. You know, there are kids. You know, even if like kids. You're playing football, you're playing soccer, whatever. The ball goes in the neighbor's yard. You jump the fence, you go and get it. Even though you might have a neighbor that's like, "Oh, don't come into my yard," but you want to get your ball, you want to play. You're just doing kid things, and I love the fact that a lot of these officers that came out there, because there was numerous of them over the 2 years, would simply have a conversation with the kids like, "Look, we understand you're being kids. Just be mindful. Try not to go in her yard. If she does speak to you, go and tell another adult. Don't interact with her. But your kids, keep doing what you're doing. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just, you're playing. But just be a little bit mindful when you get around her area." And I mean, this woman has done so many different things, thrown things at them, called them the N word, called
Call them
them
the
B
N word.
words,
Yes. Call them
all
B's.
types
Call
of
them B
things.
words.
Yeah, and I'm like, you're an adult and you're talking to young kids like this. Let me tell you something. If it was other communities, they would have beat her ass down. Okay, she got very lucky that the parents and the community they were somewhat patient with her and tolerant, and just tried to do the best that they could without stepping out of the lines. They got into it every once in a while verbally, nothing too much. And it wasn't even to the fact where they got to it verbally where police were called and police had to break anybody up. It literally was, they had interaction with her, said, look, they're kids, leave them alone. They're allowed to play in this empty lot. Mind you, this woman didn't own this property, okay? She lived in a duplex where she had close neighbors. The property line of that property there was no yard there. She was butt up against an empty lot and then another home. The other thing too is, I'm not sure, but I don't believe anybody in the neighborhood owned their home. This was all rental properties, a rental community basically. And she had no dibs on who could go into the property adjacent to her. I mean, this is her. White privilege at its finest.
Yeah, the police officers, like I said, they were not your, like, we always hear about the police officers being, bad and all this stuff, but they were great with the Black community. Like you saw the Black families interacting with the police officers. It was a unique kind of. It was like like I said, it was the community that you wish all communities would look like and act. But
yeah.
After all of the calls, back and forth, even she ended up on someone else's property and hit the fence and damaged the fence, and
that was interesting. And then how she lied about it.
She lied about so much stuff.
She lied about pretty much every interaction she had with police. She lied. Every single time. So let's kind of just dig a little bit deeper. Like you had mentioned, there was an incident later on in the documentary where she had gone onto I think it was like a tow truck property. She had a flat, she was trying to get it fixed, and then she got locked in. And instead of calling the people or calling police to say, hey, I got locked into this property. Can someone come and get me out? She decided she was in fear, again, fear for her life. So she rammed this fence to break out of it and damage the man's property. When the guy called police to say, hey, this woman damaged my property, this is who she was, they went there. She was like, oh, well, I was home all day. That's how the lie started. And they was like, well, weren't you? Oh, yeah, my car had broke down. And then he was like, well, you broke out. Oh, yeah. Like, girl, like this lie on top of lie. It took the police to say these things for her to confess that, oh, yes, I was there. And then, oh, but I was afraid. I'm this frail white woman, and I needed to get out of there because I had been assaulted before. I believe she said she had been raped before, something like that.
Yeah, she did mention that.
I'm just like, so all those things adding up to how you treat other people and how you lie to authorities on a nonstop basis, like make that make sense. That it didn't. People are saying in the comment, Jazzy had said how this documentary triggered her. Let me tell you something. Like I mentioned yesterday, I saw the preview. I was like, oh, I really want to watch it, especially because Ronald and I had been watching a lot of documentaries about bad roommates and stuff like that. And this has kind of piqued my interest. And to be honest with you, I don't remember this story when it first came out. I probably saw and heard about it, but I just didn't put two and two together. But sitting there watching this, I was so triggered. And then, they get to the scene where the woman took the kid's iPad, had threw the skates at him, and the mother went to go back to this lady's house to knock on her door and get her child's iPad. Because one, what are you doing taking a kid's iPad? It doesn't matter if it was on your property or not. It's not yours. Don't touch it. Leave it. The kid's coming back to get it. And when he went to his mother and said, hey, she took the iPad, and, the mother did what any mother would do, go over there to knock on the door and to ask someone for the iPad. Now, mind you, this is what happens. This woman is behind a metal bolted door. Her door was bolted shut on her side, on the inside. The mother is knocking on the door, asking her to come out and to retrieve her child's iPad. All right, so here's the thing. When they went to interview, because the nice thing about this thing also is the police provided the interrogation room interviews. I'm kind of jumping ahead. We'll go back and talk about the fact that she.
Yeah, don't go to the interviews first without going to the actual what happens to her.
Yeah. So she basically shoots her from behind a closed door. She shoots through a metal door and hits the mother in the left side of her chest, basically. Now, the reason why I went to the interview is because there's something very key in what happened in the interview. Now, mind you, she wasn't arrested initially. She was. It took about a week before she was arrested.
Yes.
But the reason why they arrested her was because the timeline didn't make sense. They asked her what happened. Like she said, she called 911 when the woman first banged on the door. Now, they asked her what was the time between the first time you called 911 and the second time you called 911 to say that you had shot through the door. She said it was about 10 minutes. The officers went back and looked through the 911 records.
2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes had, actually, it was like a minute and 58 seconds, technically, from the first call to the second call. She said she was looking for her phone the entire time between the 10 minutes in between the two 911 calls. Lady, you called 911 the first time. You mean to tell me between the time that you said that you called 911 the first time and the 10 minutes, now that we know it's 2 minutes, you couldn't find your phone, but yet and still you went and found your gun and shot through a locked door at someone.
But Gwendolyn has the point here. Gwendolyn says, more importantly, she told the kids to go get the mother.
Yes.
So it wasn't shocking for the mother to be at the door.
Absolutely.
Because she told the kids to go get the mother.
Yeah.
That was, and then when they did the research and they brought her into interrogation room, they also asked her and said, were you researching on your computer about the stand your
Well,
ground
not
laws?
even before that, they asked her because they were leading questions. They asked her, said, "Are
Yes.
you familiar with stand your ground
Are you
laws?"
familiar with the stand your ground
Right.
laws?
And then she was like, "Oh, well, kind of heard about it through something that happened earlier in
In
this state."
Florida?
And then they asked her, "Well, have you researched it?" And she said,
Yes.
"Well, I looked at it, yeah." But she had looked at it and with the intention that, all right, well, I can kill this woman and get away with it because I know that I was used to stand my ground law.
Mm.
And she had seen other people get away with it.
Yes, because average black most people when a white person shoots a black person, the number was it 40% or some it was a high
Something like that.
number. And how many people when a white person shoots a black person in the stand your ground law under that law, they get away with it.
It was about, I think it was 80% where they get away with it.
80%. It was
I believe it
80.
was 80%.
Man, I was feeling some kind of way. But I didn't see it coming when the mom got shot.
Well, here's the thing.
It
Well,
kind of
you have to
like hit
remember,
me by
you
surprise.
I don't know why, because the very beginning of this series opens up with 911 call, come quick, someone's been
Yes, yes,
shot.
it's true. And it's over that. And
That,
then it
yeah,
goes to
it
the story.
starts like that, and then it goes back and tells a story up until that
Yeah,
point.
it's true. And I was like, holy moly, she shot. And they actually show her on the ground through the cop, through the
Yeah,
police cam.
yeah.
And whew,
So let's just let me dive in a little bit because, like I said, there was an article written up in the Washington Post, and it talks to the filmmaker of this documentary, and her name, I'm really bad with names, so forgive me if you're watching this and I mispronounce your name, but it's Gita Genbeer. She is the one who actually put this documentary together. And she had debuted this at Sundance, I believe, earlier in January of this year. Now, prior to even airing it there, she reached out to the mother of AJ and said, do you mind if we, air this? Because she knew that she was doing this. And the mother said, I want people to know what happened. And I want it to be highlighted. So, this, especially like the scene of her mom, the AJ being on the ground and even showcasing the kids and the reactions that were captured on body camera. She said, I want people to see it because I want people to know what went on here. And then also for her life not to be taken in vain and just to show America what's going on in their communities. So she got permission from the family to show this. And it was just, it's so heart-wrenching. I lost it after the kids are running back and saying, call 911, my mom's been shot. And I can't even imagine you as a young child. I believe the young one, I believe the one that they were captured, he was like 14 at the time. Just the pain, the level of guilt, and that was another thing that was highlighted, that the
guilt
young
of
boy,
the kids, the two kids, the
he
two
said
boys.
that it's my fault that I brought her over there and that I couldn't. And then also, what was heart-wrenching, like I think when I really lost it, was like he said, I didn't know CPR to save her.
Yes.
What young child even has that thought to say, I feel guilty that I did not know CPR to save my mother?
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, it was Jazzy says this. What people don't understand is he left the iPad in the field and he went to get it, and she threw the skate at him and broke the iPad, and she told him to get his mother. And that was the whole thing, is that she knew the mother was coming and she
yeah,
knew what she had done. She had threw a skate, and they showed the skate, the size of that skate, roller skates with the
yeah,
four wheels that we used to
and
do
they're
roller derby
heavy.
with, and they're heavy. What mother would not go to this woman and say, "Do you know what you've thrown a skate at my child?"
And you damage my property because that
Yes.
iPad belonged to her.
And it's not like
And
this is a family with money.
No. And here's the other thing too. I truly believe that when she's told them to go get her mother, she already had the gun ready and
You think she
waiting.
was ready? I think she was intention. I think it was intention. So anyway, what are you guys saying? What else you guys are saying? Jazzy says something. Let me go back. Jazzy says, la, 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 la. Jason, and I do like that she used the police cameras so it's being shown from
Yeah.
an unbiased place.
So Jazzy, so what I'm glad you brought that up because the Washington Post article highlights that the fact that the director of this documentary was intentional. There's no voiceovers in this at all.
Nothing.
It's all the audio comes from the body cam footage, all the interaction with the police, and even in the interrogation room. At the end where, and even also in the courtroom, everything is first person type of footage. It allowed, like what she did as a director and producer of this is physically put you in the space to see what was happening firsthand. There's no secondhand accounts of anything in this. So no one can ever say that, oh, there's a bias towards this or that. Everything is first person type of interaction. It's just like a video game where you have those first person shooters. You're enveloped into the scene. You're hearing and seeing things as they transpire in real time. There's no, someone talking over and narrating you through these 2 years of interactions with this woman. This is all the police voice, the children's voices, the parents' voices, and this crazy woman's interaction with everyone. So I think that I don't know if we've ever had a documentary that actually does this, where 100% of the footage is first person. Typically, you have someone narrating and telling you the story and leading you through. This doesn't do that at all, and I think that's what's so gripping. People's visceral reactions to this have been just off the charts with this on social media, on X, on Reddit threads, even responding in comments on Netflix, just how visceral the reaction, people just sobbing uncontrollably to this movie because, like, these are children. You have traumatized an entire community
A
forever.
community, not just
And
the immediate children, but
and
the community.
yeah, and they've even followed up with them. Most of the people don't live there anymore. They've all moved
That's
from that
it.
area. Because I mean, how do you live in a place when, I mean, everyone knew everyone. The mothers, the
And
kids, they
they
all
say,
knew each other.
but then they said AJ was so good to everybody. She
Yeah,
was a pillar in the neighborhood. It wasn't
yeah,
like she was just hanging out and just a mother with 4 kids and just kind of living, loafing around. She was interacting with all the kids in the
yep.
neighborhood. She was a pillar and
Well,
connecting with all the people.
all the parents, I will have to say, from just watching this, it seemed like all the parents had a vested interest in all the kids, not
Yes,
just their own.
it was a
All the
community.
kids were all belonged to the community and all of them looked out for one another and took care of each other. They knew each other's names, and they knew who was in the neighborhood. And when someone came in and they didn't belong, they knew all that stuff. They were in touch with everything that was going on the ground in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I like I said, it was one is again, just like the people said, when she first did it, and they did not arrest her, which is so. The two justices in this country,
Yes.
if this was a black woman,
They'd have been standing on
she
her
would have
neck.
been wrestled to the ground,
Yep.
hog-tied, and all other stuff, and put
She
in a
probably wouldn't have made.
wagon
She
and
probably wouldn't have made it
charged
from there.
immediately. Yeah, I mean, this perpetrator, she ended up staying home, being home,
For like a week.
not even house arrest.
No, she was free to go.
She was free to go.
She was moving her stuff out, everything.
And the community rallied behind and said, no, she needs to be locked up. And they protested. They had conversations. They called the government, all the people, the municipals, and they were engaged. This whole community was engaged. And then they finally picked her up. Man. But if it was a black person, like the person said in City Hall, she said, or it was the police station. Well, and usually in those towns is in the same building. And she was like, if this was a black woman, she would have been locked up and put under the jail cell. And it goes to show you, though, also here in America, two justice systems, always on display. What are you guys saying in here in the audience?
So I saw that Gwendolyn at the very she was like, I would like to have my questions addressed. Okay, hold on. Let's put this one up. I know it looked bad to not hear her locked up, but not sure how that is determined. We had a black husband in Texas who murdered his wife, and it was out of 7 years before his, like that for me, like that's just crazy, like stuff like that, especially when there's evidence there, and there's that stuff is crazy to me.
Well, also, I mean, if I may interject, I mean, so in a lot of cases, the sad part when we looked at that other TV documentary, women's lives have very little value in so many of these systems. So a man doing something horrible to his wife is not looked upon as the same as a woman doing it to her husband. I mean, in a lot of cases.
Yeah. So Gwendolyn also says, can we talk about her 911 call after the events? Her victim attitude didn't last long.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris.
No, you go ahead. Take this one.
She was like, I said, there's those white tears. Just like she goes into the tears. She knows and I kept trying to see if she in the videotape trying to read her body language and trying to read her face, and couldn't tell if she was. I didn't see any real remorse, but
she had no remorse whatsoever.
Yeah, I didn't see any remorse, and even when they asked her, like I said, we've seen this in Central Park here in New York City, where the guy was in the bird watching, and she used the police officers as a weapon, what she thought was going to be a weapon, and that happens a lot. I mean, how many times have we known in businesses or I can tell you from church, where the person used those, my father would say crocodile tears, and to get their way. And but
so here's the thing with her, like, after even after the second 911 call, like it doesn't sound convincing to me, but like when they take her in and they bring that interrogation room and then like they question her, and then even when they step out, even when she goes like this and puts her hands in her face, like it didn't seem genuine at all. There was no tears. She was like, oh, I feared for my life. I just kept fearing for my life. And, she's throwing up, I had been raped before, I've been assaulted and this and that. And I'm just like, you know what? You have nothing to stand on, and people will eventually see through all of this. But the thing that bothered me was that a person has been killed and a person is dead. There is no reason why you guys should have let her go home. If nothing else, put her in lockup, because you can hold her for 24, 48 hours while you investigate. Why did they let her go? Because she was white.
Yes.
If she was a black woman or any other black person or a person of color, their ass would have been in the jail while they investigated. You know what I mean?
Well, hello. So look at the president. Look at the president of our country. Those charges, he would have been the person would have been in jail.
Yeah.
Waiting for their waiting for the arraignment, waiting for all the trial and all that stuff. I mean, look at P. Diddy. I mean, when they arrested him, he didn't get back out. I understand that what he did was horrific, but they let him out. But when Trump, they let him out. Two justices.
Let's see what's
being said.
I just found it shocking how she made the call, and within 30 seconds of that call, she immediately went to bad mouth that part. Like, here's the thing: like, she can't get away from her privilege, her just hatred for people of color and that community. Like she'll say something where, oh, I felt threatened, and then she goes directly into the hatred and oh, these kids are this and that. And then even when they asked her about the N-word, she's like, oh, have you ever called them the N-word? Oh, I don't use that type of language. They said, but it's been
Yes.
documented that you use it. Oh, well, I probably said it in passing and did not realizing I was probably flustered. And then they asked her, what do you think the N word is being used for? She was like, oh, bad people and this negativity and this and that. Let me see if I can find it, because they actually documented the actual words in text here. I have to look for it. But, her excuse of the word and how she used it and what she thought it meant, I was like, that was a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. She knew what it meant. She uses it all the time in private. She's used it publicly with those
Well,
kids.
she's using it with the kids. She said the
Yes,
kids said that she
yes.
called them the N word. She called them the P word. She
She called
called
them
them.
B word.
She called them the
She
B
used
word.
she used every word in the dictionary that on these kids.
Mm.
So here's another take on this, because I'm going to read you a paragraph from the Washington Post, and let's just talk about this spin on it. On social media, viewers of the documentary have shared visceral responses to these scenes, with some posting pictures of their tear-streaked faces or videos of themselves wailing in their hands, but others expressed reservations, warning that such scenes amounted to Black trauma porn. And I found that this take on it was actually really interesting. I don't think that this is Black trauma porn or using this in a negative way. I think that sometimes we really need to see what is really going on. It needs to be highlighted, because a lot of times I think we're so far removed from things. We hear about these things all the time, and we hear about them secondhand account, that we're just so removed from it, and then it doesn't really affect us. To be able to see this firsthand, to hear this firsthand, it's so important, because it brings light to what we all have been saying. So this is not even really for people of color, because we see this all the time. We see it firsthand. It's for other people, those white people that say, oh, this doesn't really happen. Here, see it for yourself. Notice it, feel it, embrace it, because this is what's happening in this country on a daily basis. This is not some one random one-off. This happens all the time. This is what we've been talking about for decades. We've all experienced this. We've all seen it for ourselves.
Yeah.
We all have experiences of this.
And I love what you said. This is not Black trauma porn.
It's not at all. This is reality. And if you can't deal with reality, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. But anyway, so at the end, she does get justice. Well, partial justice, because I think she should have got life without parole. I thought she should have got murder in the first degree.
Well,
I mean,
she won't make it. She won't make it out of jail, and I'm going to tell you why. She got 25 years to life for this. She was in her, I want to say her late 40s, 50s when this happened, I believe. And now, mind you, in the cover art of this documentary, you see this woman. She's not a little woman. She's a heavy set.
She was big, and then she lost weight.
And when you look in, when she was in court, this woman does not look like the same person at all. Because I had to look around. Like, wait a minute,
yes,
is that her?
That's exactly what I said.
She looks very just.
She lost weight.
Oh my gosh. She was frail. Her hair just looked like it was just like stringy.
She looked mean.
Yes, she did.
She looked like the devil.
She was unrepentant. She still believed what she did was right. She still believed she was, quote unquote, defending herself.
Yes.
She will not survive it. I think she's going to die in prison. I mean, now mind you, that look from when she was arrested to when she was found guilty was 2 years. If that is what happened in 2 years for you, I don't think she only has a few more years to live.
She was, but I always have my philosophy. People that are bad, people that are evil live a long time. They just live out long lives. But she did not have a look of repentance. She did not care. She, yeah, she was. I think she got. I think she should have got work. I don't know. Could they have given her more than 25 years? But she was. She made me feel some kind of way.
I don't know. I mean, this just sheds a light, and this is something, like I said, this happens all the time. And I think we were really aware of it with the Trayvon Martin incident in Florida. I think that's when it really came to the forefront.
Yes.
And since then, there've been so many more incidences of this happening.
700. They said there were set. I think that at the end of the footage, this is when they talk about 80% of white people that use the
stand your ground
law get off. Then they also shared that since I forgot what year, it wasn't that long ago, 700 cases have been brought into the courts of these shootings. 700. That's a whole lot on the stand your ground law.
Yep. And they're not a lot of states that have it, but of course there are those states like Florida, Texas, are typical regulars, deplorable
and these
states.
Laws are for white people to be able to kill black people.
Yep. Black and brown people.
Yes, that's what it all comes down to. That law was not created to protect people.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Any other questions? Any other statements you guys have in the community? What was your, just for those that saw it, what was your overall feeling of the documentary? Just the overall, was it good? Do you find it beneficial to people? I think it was a great insight. You guys did also mention that we did not talk about the first police officer that was dismissive. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, there was
like
that first one.
Yeah, he was like just another situation.
Well, here's the other thing though, too, to go with this. Unfortunately, there's nothing on the books, or there's no recourse that they could have done to prevent. I don't want to say to totally prevent this, because I think we saw the escalation over the 2 years, but a lot of times police can't do anything until something happens.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, someone lost their life. 4 kids lost their mother and will grow up not having them in their life.
So here we go. Let's put this on the screen so that way you can hear it, and then you can listen to it. Here we go. It's going to start. And let's see here. Get it going.
911, what is the address emergency?
My neighbor has been screaming outside.
She started banging on her door.
Pounding on it. Let me in. And then... bang!
Oh, yeah!
I'm peaceful. I'm quiet. I don't bug anybody.
Come outside with your hands up!
You barely ever see me. I'm like the perfect neighbor.
I think it's worth seeing. I think it's just worth seeing, and I think it's worth having a discussion with your family. And
yeah,
woo, it was. Like I said, there's sometimes, and you see documentaries like that. It makes you angry, obviously. It makes you feel unsettled, but they are so necessary especially for those who are not aware. For us, we are aware, but for those that are unaware.
Yeah. So wait, put Gwendolyn's comment back on. I want to read that. Well, that's my question. You don't create these documentaries for entertainment. Are we expecting any changes to come from this? So here's my take on why this is created. I think it's to shed light, to let people know. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but this isn't really even created for us as Black and brown people. I think this is created to show white people what it is that they're doing. their interactions with people in our communities, and the fact that we're not bullshitting when we say this is happening. You need to see that this is happening in America. And to be able to see this, I think it puts it on blast for them. I was even watching The View this week, and they highlighted it. And just to hear how the hosts were talking about it, and the fact that it's like, it outraged all of them, not just, Whoopi or Sonny, who are the other black hosts on that show, but Elizabeth, not Elizabeth, Sarah, Joy, and all of them. They found this deplorable, and the fact that this needed to be seen. It has to be seen. People need to see this. I don't know what I'm just overly passionate about this. This one just really stuck with me. Out of all the documentaries I've ever seen, this just really stuck with me. It hit a nerve because I'm just like, not me personally have experienced this, but like I had an uncle who was thrown in jail for a rape that he did not commit. He was home with the family at a barbecue. We all said he was here with us. He was here, and they didn't even believe him. And he was in jail for over a year until the person who actually did it was in jail that confessed to it. Mm. So these are the things that we as black and brown people are experiencing all the time throughout our lives. And I think that's for this to be captured in this way to show like, hey, these are the stories we're constantly saying. Now you can see it for yourself. It's not being shoved down your throat, someone telling you this is what happened. No, you're seeing for yourself what happened. I think that's why this is so powerful. I think this is why this had to be created and put out there for everyone to see.
Yeah. So I really, like you said, it is really, I think black people, people of color, we already know this information. It's the white folks that there is a part of our population, and it's not all white people, but there's a portion of the white population that doesn't believe none of this stuff exists. They don't believe racism exists. They don't believe racism exists, but yet they're still racist. And we live in a racist country on so many, everything in this country, I don't say racist country, but I will say we are, everything we do in this country is connected to racism.
Absolutely.
Every law.
That's what we're living through right now.
Everything.
Everything
is connected to the prism of
DEI. I mean, like all of this is it deals with all of this stuff.
So it's a part of our lives. It's every day. But I think these documentaries, like Chris said, is more geared to white folks that are in middle America, some in urban areas, some in the cities, some in wherever. But these people do not get to see the reality of what's going on around them. Or at least they won't take the time. And being that Netflix has really highlighted this, and so many other platforms have as well. It was well done. I think it was well done.
Yeah.
Cool beans. You okay,
so
Chris?
And thank you for allowing us to have this conversation and for people to go and watch this and even be part of the chat for this as well. I just think it's one of those necessary things we need to talk about.
I agree. Okay, so guys, this is the weekend. The weekend is here, and so here's some announcements. One is make sure you join our email list, and let me just get this little banner off the screen there. There we go. Join my email list today. New service updates, industry news, and monthly trends. Be in the know. And also, I am an event photographer. So if you have an event, you need some photography, reach out. I can take care of that for you. Also, thank you to the Patreon members. Your support helps us create amazing content and conversations like this here on YouTube, Instagram, and social media platforms. Is our Patreon community that supports us. Also, you're invited to join the YouTube channel here. What we do here, just hit the like, hit the subscribe. How many of you today hit the like or hit the subscribe. Make sure you do so. And I think that's it. We got it going on. There is an event going on in New York City. Oh gosh, there's for photographers, and I meant to put that out today. Let me see if I can get that. Well, there's an event coming up this weekend on tomorrow. There's a workshop and there's also a gallery showing. Let me get this off the screen. Yeah, there we go. So, Chris, any announcements, sir?
I'm gonna do my shameless plug. I'll do my shameless plug. I'll run it now. Hello and welcome to the recap show. My name is Chris Edwards. I'm here with my other two co-hosts, TJ and Ronald. Every week we join you and recap one of your favorite shows. So don't forget to like our page, to subscribe, and to also hit the notification button so you can get notified every week when we drop new videos. New videos drop every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Thank you guys for watching, and we can't wait to see you guys next week.
I wanted to make you just filled in my time so I can get this up on the screen. Here we go.
Perfect.
Here we go. Just so you know what's going on this weekend in New York City. Howard Cash was was on our program. I interviewed him. It was one of our first interviews here on this platform. But this weekend, or if you're in New York City, October 26th on Sunday, artist reception, the Harlem Renaissance, a tribute inspired by the cultural richness of the Harlem Renaissance, a century later. And it's going to be in Harlem. Check it out if you're available from 5 to 8 p.m. on this Sunday. I should be there. I'm going to try to make it there to support, as I always do, and try to also film this for those that are not able to make it. Okay, so meet the artist and curator in the conversation, and that is for Sunday. And then for Saturday, if you scan this QR code, a Harlem event, small business incubator, New York City, small business skills you'll use daily, and this is geared towards the creative community. So if you have a small business and you want to learn some foundations about running a small business, check out the a Harlem event, a small business incubator in New York City. Okay, for those that are in New York. Okay, check that out. Okay, there you have it. Now we can get out of here. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm so glad Chris picked that film. So anyway, guys, have a wonderful weekend, and later. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.